Good morning from Mission Control Houston. You are looking live at Launch Pad 6 at Site 31 at the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan, where it is early afternoon and a Soyuz 2.1A booster stands fully fueled. A veteran Russian cosmonaut and 2 Japanese private citizens are poised to lift off in less than 40 minutes from now to deliver a new spacecraft to the International Space Station, the Soyuz MS-20.
We see you on camera.
Russian cosmonaut Alexander Misurkin is about to begin his 3rd flight into space. Seated to his left in the Soyuz is Japanese private citizen Yusaku Maezawa, and to Misurkin's right in the Soyuz is Japanese private citizen Yozo Hirano. The crew will spend almost 12 days on the orbital outpost, conducting a program of activities that involve showcasing spaceflight back to the people of Japan. Maezawa and Hirano are making their journey into space under a contract between Space Adventures and Roscosmos. This crew will return to Earth on December 19th U.S. time, December 20th Kazakhstan time in the Soyuz MS-20 vehicle they're launching in today. And today's launch will put Misurkin, Maezawa, and Hirano on a 4-orbit, 6-hour journey to the International Space Station, with a docking scheduled to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the station. There they will be greeted about 2 hours after docking by Station Commander Anton Shkaplerov and the rest of the Expedition 66 crew. So again, once this crew floats through the hatches, they'll be greeted by the Expedition 66 crew you now see on your screen. From left to right are NASA astronauts Rajachari and Tom Marshburn, European Space Agency astronaut Matthias Maurer, Roscosmos cosmonauts Anton Shkaplerov and Pyotr Dubrov, and NASA astronauts Kayla Barron and Mark Vandehei. Misurkin, Maezawa, and Hirano will not become expedition crew members, but rather Misurkin a visiting crew member and Maezawa and Hirano spaceflight participants. The arrival of this crew today will expand the station's occupancy from 7 crew members to 10 crew members. And the music you're hearing right now is also being piped into the Soyuz, the crew aboard the Soyuz right now, hearing this music ahead of launch today.
This is Baikonur launch lead. You can select the format displays.
The traditional rollout of the Soyuz booster and the Soyuz MS-20 began from the integration building shortly before sunrise this past Sunday on a cold and icy morning in the Central Asian desert at Site 31 in the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. The elements of the Soyuz had been mated over the past few days, and once it reached the launch pad, hydraulics lifted the Soyuz 2.1A booster to its vertical position, and the gantry arms swung shut around the vehicle, allowing technicians to begin hooking up data lines, electrical lines, and fuel lines for the final processing of the rocket over the last few days. And those photos you just saw of rollout were all provided to us by Roscosmos. Once Misurkin, Maezawa, and Hirano climbed aboard the spacecraft earlier this morning, they conducted leak checks on their Sokol launch and entry suits, and everything was reported to be in good shape for liftoff. Scheduled just about 33 minutes from now at 1:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Central Time, 12:38 p.m. and 15 seconds Baikonur time. At the time of liftoff today, the International Space Station will be flying 260 miles over the northeast Kazakhstan along the border with Russia.
Maezawa Misurkin 船長からのリクエスト。映画砂漠の白い太陽で主人公スホフが妻に宛てた感動的な手紙のシーンをお送りします。
Душа моя рвется к вам, ненаглядный Катерина Матвеевна, как журавль в небо. Однако случилась у нас небольшая заминка. Полагаю, суток на 3, не более. А именно, мне как сознательному бойцу.
The Soyuz is a 3-stage rocket. It'll take about 8 minutes and 46 seconds for the Soyuz to reach its preliminary orbit today, with the crew inside the descent module, or the center stage of the 3-section spacecraft. Again, they are strapped in their seats with Misurkin in the center seat as Soyuz commander. And the graphic on your screen shows that descent module, where the crew is now seated in the middle. Again, Misurkin will be in the center seat today as Soyuz commander. Seated to his left in the Soyuz is Japanese private citizen Yusaku Maezawa, and to Misurkin's left is the Soyuz Japanese private citizen Yozo Hirano. Once the Soyuz separates from that upper stage, or the 3rd stage of the Soyuz rocket, the solar arrays on the Soyuz will deploy almost immediately with its navigation antennas. And rendezvous operations will begin shortly after that to meet its 4-orbit approach to the International Space Station for a docking scheduled at 7:41 a.m. Central Time this morning. Back at the launch pad, the weather is 26 degrees Fahrenheit with partly cloudy skies today. Again, the music you're hearing right now is being played for the crew on board the Soyuz by the launch conductor back at the blockhouse in Baikonur. Now just under 30 minutes and counting to liftoff today. We'll be standing by here momentarily to receive some video B-roll of the crew's activities in Baikonur earlier today. And there it is. Here we have that traditional walkout. and the traditional wall signing. Again, this is B-roll video of the crew's activities in Baikonur earlier today. And again, here's that traditional walkout from the Cosmonaut Hotel in Baikonur. On the left is Japanese private citizen Yozo Hirano. In the middle is Russian cosmonaut and Soyuz commander Alexander Misurkin. And on the right, private citizen Yusaku Maezawa. They made their way to the bus where they will pose for a final photo. Again, they posed for some final photo opportunities before boarding their bus to take them to Site 254 Integration Building for their suit up. And some photos also being taken by Hirano inside of the bus. The two buses departed, the second with the backup crew, leaving the Cosmonaut Hotel.
Altair, this is Baikonur launch lead. Go ahead.
Here you see the crew getting suited up, and they would then conduct some final leak checks in their suits. And if you're just joining us, you're watching some B-roll video of the crew's activities in Baikonur earlier today at the Integration Building at Site 254, where the crew was suited up, and we're still getting some video of those leak checks on their Sokol launch and entry suits.
No, right now. Yeah, you just put it on. Oh, yeah. I don't.
I don't know. Зачем люди сильно Tesla Sit down, sir.
And the crew had an opportunity for some final goodbyes with family.
Yozo のおかげで行けるようなものです。地球で改めてはい、ありがとうございます。はい。気をつけて行ってきます。はい。めちゃくちゃ安全なロケットです。こうやって優秀な皆さんが一緒になると全然安心する。頑張ってください。よ。今どんな気持ち？今もうさ、2人が遠足のゴルフしよう。帰ってきたらゴルフしよう。帰ってきたら何？ゴルフしよう。あ、ゴルフ。すごい。ワングループ1、2分しかないから。はい。取って取る。あ、やばい、携帯がない。いってらっしゃい。久しぶり高津さんだ。外にも旅行行ったの。遠いし寒い。あれ前やろ。あれ前さん。あ、入ってきます。さん、誰か回してくれてる人ちゃんといますか？あ、そうなんです。いけるらしい。あ、そうなんです。そう。でそれ YouTube で中継して流してくれる。高間さんかっこいい写真いっぱいしてます。いいですか？One more. Okay. いってらっしゃい。ありがとう。いってらっしゃい。俺たち前来たわ。はいはいはい。早く。ダクさんもうよくキーさんありがとうございます。とんでもない。ありがとうございます。動物園みたいだね。かっこいい。かっこいい。リングしてみる。やる予定ですよ。はい。待って。パターで。はい。パターで。ゆうへい、まーちゃんさ、そこ他社の前だから、ちょっとなるべくこっち側に開けてあげて。お願いを申し上げます。ミズーキンコマンダーのご家族を前の方に通してあげて。
We all love you. We'll be waiting eagerly for you to come back home because you haven't left yet, but we already miss you. We're here waiting for you.
Корабль находится в нормальном техническом состоянии,
is in
ракета
good
тоже.
technical condition.
Метеообстановка
The rocket is as
нас
well.
удовлетворяет. Будет
The weather
еще
is also
зондирование за
fine.
2 часа до старта. Есть некоторое усиление ветра, но наши специалисты утверждают, что
Wind speed,
ветер будет в
but
норме.
our
Поэтому
specialists are
никаких
telling us that
ограничений
everything
для
is going to be
подготовки к пуску у
nominal.
нас
So there
нет.
will be
Мы
no
идем по
changes
плану.
to our launch preparations. So guys,
Желаю вам
good luck.
успешного полета,
Good flight,
выполнения
good mission,
полетного задания, ну и, конечно, возвращения
and of
на
course,
нашу землю
we hope
в хорошем
you come back
состоянии
home
здоровья
safe,
и в
sound,
хорошем
and in high spirits. The vehicle is ready. The iPhone is in container 350. Everything needs to be charged. So, guys, good luck to you and soft landing when you come back.
So some final goodbyes from the crew before their traditional walkout from the 254 integration building in Baikonur.
The head of the State Commission. Our spaceflight participant mission is ready. The commander is ready. Thank you. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you. Shall we?
The crew then boarded their bus and made their way to the launch pad, where they climbed up the stairs and had an opportunity to wave goodbye before taking that elevator up to the flight level, where they entered their Soyuz spacecraft, where they are now. Again, some final waves and goodbyes before taking that elevator up to the flight level, where they entered their Soyuz MS-20 spacecraft, where they are seated now, poised for launch. The hatch was then closed, leak checks were conducted, and everything is still on track and looking good for launch today. Again, that video recorded earlier of the crew's launch day activities, including their suit up and arrival at the launch pad, where they have been strapped into the descent module now for about 2.5 hours, undergoing systems checks and communications checks with flight controllers at the blockhouse in Baikonur and in Mission Control in Koryov on the outskirts of Moscow. Once the Soyuz reaches its preliminary orbit, it will be controlled by flight controllers in the Russian Mission Control Center. The view you're getting now from a balcony camera inside of Mission Control Moscow. And back here in Mission Control Houston, teams are monitoring systems aboard the International Space Station, ensuring all systems are ready for the crew's arrival later today. The flight director leading the teams in Mission Control Houston today is Jeff Radigan. Now just 12 minutes until liftoff and everything is in readiness. The Soyuz has been fully fueled and all systems are in good shape. Again, liftoff scheduled today at 1:38 a.m. Central Time, 12:38 and 15 seconds p.m. Baikonur time. The music you're hearing now is being played for the crew inside of the Soyuz as we approach the T-minus 11-minute mark to launch today. Today's launch will put Misurkin, Maezawa, and Hirano on a 4-orbit, 6-hour journey to the International Space Station with a docking scheduled to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
Altair, 5-minute readiness to launch. You can close your helmets. Copy, in work. 5-minute readiness to launch. Closing the helmets. We can see you on the video camera. Copy. Baikonur launch lead. We have our helmets closed and rescue aids are primed. Copy.
長いようであっという間だった訓練。本当にお疲れ様でした。
Now just under 9 minutes from launch today, the crew's helmets are closed and they'll continue running through these milestones. For liftoff at 1:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Central Time, 12:38 and 15 seconds p.m. Baikonur time.
なんだか寂しいですが、お二人が無事に帰還するまで地球からサポートしますので、安心して行ってきてください。Sasha, thank you for your support and kindness. I will leave them to you. 殿の長年の夢が叶う瞬間も間もなくですね。閉ざされたハッチの向こうの新たな挑戦。全力で悔いなく楽しんできてください。ミスター・チルドレンで終わりなき旅。
Now under 8 minutes to liftoff today, and back at the launch site, it's 26 degrees Fahrenheit with partly cloudy skies.
Altair, this is Baikonur. Launch lead. Please report the state on board. We copy Baikonur launch lead. Everything's fine on board.
Coming up on 6 minutes to liftoff today, the crew aboard the Soyuz MS-20 reporting everything is good on board. Six minutes and counting to liftoff.
MS-20 ラジオがお送りしたスペシャルプログラムもそろそろお別れの時間が近づいてきました。多くのメッセージと音楽が宇宙へと飛び立つ3人の後押しになったことと信じます。
Coming up on 5 minutes to liftoff, they should report a purge of nitrogen for the first stage. And getting some in-cabin views now from inside of the Soyuz. On the right side of your screen is spaceflight participant Yusaku Maezawa. To his left is Soyuz commander Alexander Misurkin. Just under 4 minutes to liftoff. Coming up next, that first stage will be pressurized at about the 2 minute and 45-second mark before launch. The pressurization of the first stage fuel tanks will optimize the pressure of fuel, helping the structural support of the rocket as it sits on the launch pad, and the booster tanks will also be pressurized. Everything in readiness, T-minus 3 minutes and counting.
We confirm oxidizing fuel drain and safety valves of the launch vehicle are closed.
The purging of the fuel lines now complete.
Есть наддув.
We confirm booster propellant tank pressurization initiated. Copy.
And the booster tank is now being pressurized for flight. T-minus 2 minutes and counting to liftoff. Another view from inside the Soyuz MS-20, Maezawa on the right, Misurkin in the center. Now under 1 minute and 30 seconds from launch. At this point, the ground propellant feed has now been terminated and the Soyuz is about to go on internal power. Now coming up on the 1 minute mark. "45 seconds to liftoff."
Есть команда земля-борт.
We confirm vehicle to internal power.
Принял, есть земля-борт.
Copy. Vehicle to internal power.
First umbilical is now retracting.
Есть пуск.
We confirm order sequence initiated. Copy. Order sequence initiated.
The second umbilical is now retracting.
See the L2.
Предварительная.
Engine ignition.
Предварительная.
Turbo pumps coming up to flight speed.
Промежуточная.
Second umbilical tower separates. Engine turbopumps at flight speed. Engine.
And liftoff. Liftoff of the Soyuz MS-20 with 2 Japanese spaceflight participants and a Russian cosmonaut, now beginning their journey to the International Space Station.
Параметры ракет-носителя в норме.
Rocket parameters are nominal. Everything's fine on board. We're feeling great.
"30 seconds into flight, crews are reporting good first stage performance."
Unintelligible.
40 секунд стабилизации. Здесь
40 seconds of flight. The vehicle is stable.
Inside the Soyuz, Commander Alexander Misurkin in the center, and on his right, Yusaku Maezawa.
тангаж, резко не вращение.
60 seconds of flight. Roll, pitch, and yaw are all nominal.
На борту порядок.
Copy. Everything's fine on board. We're feeling okay.
The crew on board feeling good. One minute, 30 seconds into flight, coming up on first stage separation.
12 секунд, двигатели работают нормально.
90 seconds of flight. Engines are working nominally.
На борту порядок, информация экипажа.
Copy. Everything's fine on board. We're feeling well. Copy.
Есть сброс до УСАС.
We confirm launch escape system jettisoning.
Принял, есть сброс до УСАС.
Copy.
Есть отделение боковых блоков.
We confirm
Есть отделение боковых блоков.
lateral tank separation.
First stage separation is confirmed. The 4 strap-on boosters have completed their job.
140 секунд, параметры ракет-носителя.
140 seconds of flight. Vehicle parameters are nominal. Copy. Everything's fine on board too. We're feeling good.
Second stage booster.
We confirm. Nose cone fairing. Jettisoning. Copy. And we confirm at 5. Control descent.
And confirmation of the launch shroud jettison. The rocket's altitude now about 49 miles high, traveling at a speed of about 5,203 miles per hour.
The vehicle is stable.
Getting a view now from the Soyuz booster.
Everything's fine on board. Copy.
All of the vehicle parameters reported to be performing as expected as we approach the 4-minute mark into flight.
Нормальный.
220 seconds of flight. Everything's nominal. Copy. The situation on board is nominal as well. We're feeling good. Copy.
Four minutes into flight and everything is performing as expected, and the crew on board the Soyuz MS-20 is feeling good.
250 seconds of flight. Roll, pitch, and yaw, our nominal.
Four and a half minutes into the flight today, standing by now for second stage shutdown and second stage separation.
We confirm second stage separation.
Second stage separation is confirmed.
Separation and thrust activation. Copy.
Third stage engine is up and running, everything looking good, now traveling just over 9,500 miles per hour and 100 miles in altitude.
Параметры ракет-носителя.
320 seconds of flight. The
5.5 minutes into flight, the Soyuz now being propelled by the single engine of the Soyuz's third stage.
We're feeling well.
seconds.
350 seconds of flight. The flight is nominal. Copy. Everything's fine on board too. We're feeling good.
6 minutes into flight, the crew is feeling good on board. That third stage engine still burning as expected as the Soyuz MS-20 and its crew head toward its preliminary orbit on its journey to the International Space Station.
Three
380 seconds of flight. Third stage thrusters are working nominally.
All structural parameters still reported to be nominal as we approach the 7-minute mark into flight this morning.
420 seconds of flight. Roll, pitch, and yaw, our nominal. Everything's fine on board. We're feeling well. Copy.
Now approaching 7.5 minutes into flight. The Soyuz now traveling 14,000 miles per hour, 124 miles in altitude. The trajectory flattening out. About a minute of powered flight remaining.
Everything's nominal.
Now at the 8-minute mark into flight since the Soyuz lifted off, the vehicle now traveling almost 15,500 miles per hour and 125 miles in altitude.
And everything's okay on board. We're feeling well. We copy.
All structural parameters still reported to be nominal, and the crew is doing well.
500 seconds of flight. Everything's nominal.
Now standing by for third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation.
секунд.
520 seconds of flight. All parameters are nominal. And stand by for contact separation.
Third stage shutdown confirmed and spacecraft separation confirmed.
And I am handing you over.
Next step will be the deployment of the solar arrays. And you can see those solar arrays unfolding now.
Altair, this is MCC Moscow.
And we now have confirmation the solar arrays and the navigational antennas have been deployed as planned.
Moscow, Altair, how copy? Loud and clear. How was the separation? Everything went nominally. Copy. KDO repress is done. Editor is closed and LED is not illuminated. BVS is primed. SKDO is also illuminated. Thermal sensors are on. And I am moving to KG display. RPV 1 and 2 valves, please close. Copy. RPV 1 and 2 valves are closed. Copy. So let's do a leak. We started a leak check. Copy. And you can report parameters when ready. Copy.
Параметры давление СА 819,
819 is SA. The next parameter is 840 and 874 in the BOR. Copy. And the next measure.
This is Mission Control Houston. It was a flawless ascent to orbit for the Soyuz MS-20. Everything went by the book with liftoff occurring on time at 1:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Central Time, 2:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Eastern Time, which was 12:38 p.m. at the launch site at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. 8 minutes and 46 seconds later was third stage shutdown and separation on the 2.1A booster, with the solar arrays and navigational antennas having been deployed. The Soyuz MS-20 is now on its way to the International Space Station, carrying Russian cosmonaut Alexander Misurkin and Japanese spaceflight participants Yusaku Maezawa and Yozo Hirano on a 4-orbit, 6-hour journey to the International Space Station, with a docking scheduled to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the station at 7:41 a.m. Central Time, 8:41 a.m. Eastern Time.
Okay, just provide us with a running commentary of the Sudan test. Wanted to say that we selected the second set of course, and I confirm IKV inhibit went through. Altair. L3 from parameter.
The view you're getting now from a balcony camera in the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov on the outskirts of Moscow in Russia.
Stand by. All right. Parameter 17. 17.1, 18, 16.9, 19, 265. Parameter 20, 1.1, 21st, 2.4, 22nd, 323, 23rd, 325. 24th, 17.8, 25th, 18.2, 26th, 264. How copy? And what? Propellant 878. Copy, and you can go back to the approach.
So again, it was a flawless ascent to orbit for the Soyuz MS-20. It lifted off at 1:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Central Time, 2:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Eastern Time. And that was 12:38 p.m. at the launch site at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Temperatures at the launch site at the time of liftoff were 26 degrees Fahrenheit with partly cloudy skies. You'll continue to see a few more replays of launch. Again, liftoff occurring at 1:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Central Time. 8 minutes and 46 seconds into flight was third stage shutdown and separation on the 2.1A booster. With the solar arrays and navigational antennas having been deployed, the Soyuz MS-20 is on its way to the International Space Station. Aboard that MS-20 vehicle is Russian cosmonaut Alexander Misurkin. He's on his third space flight today. Seated to his left in the Soyuz is Japanese spaceflight participant Yusaku Maezawa. And to Misurkin's right in the Soyuz is Japanese spaceflight participant Yozo Hirano. The crew will spend almost 12 days on the orbital outpost, conducting a program of activities that involve showcasing spaceflight back to the people of Japan. Maezawa and Murano are making their journey into space under a contract between Space Adventures and Roscosmos. The crew will return to Earth on December 19th U.S. time, December 20th Kazakhstan time, in the MS-20 vehicle they are launching in today.
It is starting at 12:10. Copy, 12:10. What's the start time one more time? 12:10. Until when? 12:32. Copy, 12:32. And please write down for 11:25:00 you are going to start attitude build, KSR. Copy. KSR is at 11:25.
Конец 11:42.
And end time is 11:42. All right. Alexander, please make sure that you send a get for command at the end of the compass. Altair, we have a little bit of time left till the end of this compass. Altair, this is MCC Moscow. Alexander, we can hardly hear you. One more time. During the next compass, we will need to do the manual control test. And Alexander, I can hardly understand what you're saying. 8 seconds till the end of this compass. Unintelligible. Stand by. We're going to find out if there's one more thing.
This is Mission Control Houston. Again, a flawless launch today. Everything went by the book, with liftoff occurring on time at 1:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Central Time, 2:38 and 15 seconds a.m. Eastern Time. 8 minutes and 46 seconds later was third stage shutdown and separation on the 2.1A booster, with the solar arrays and navigational antennas having been deployed. The Soyuz MS-20 is now on its way to the International Space Station. After orbital insertion, the crew heard from Chief Flight Director Vladimir Soloviev, who gave them congratulations. Again, the Soyuz MS-20 is carrying Russian cosmonaut Alexander Misurkin and 2 Japanese spaceflight participants, Yusaku Maezawa and Yozo Hirano, on a 4-orbit, 6-hour journey to the International Space Station, with a docking scheduled to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the station at 7:41 a.m. Central Time, 8:41 a.m. Eastern. We'll be back on air at 7 a.m. Central Time, 8 a.m. Eastern Time for rendezvous and docking coverage. So with the Soyuz MS-20 now on its way to the International Space Station, that'll wrap up our launch coverage this morning. This is Mission Control Houston.